Let's talk about how you know that you're getting a bit more senior as a developer and then going from knowing that a little bit to actually becoming more senior. So, in this video, I'm just gonna ramble on a little bit. It's gonna be just a monologue of me, one take, just talking about this thing that I've been, it's in my mind a little bit because constantly in our careers as developers, but maybe also as more managers or tech leads, we go through the same motions of becoming more senior. And in this video, I want to kind of just reflect on what I think seniority means in this sense, and then what you can do once you know that, how you actually get there. Generally, and you probably know the same thing as well when you're a developer and you're up and coming, or even when you're more senior. At one point in time, you start to get a little bit annoyed with what you see around you, right? You're coding something, but you code it because there's like a ticket that you have to do, and you don't really understand why it's that way, because that way is better, right? You start to get a bit annoyed. Like, why are these decisions being made? And why don't I have time to actually do it correctly? Or why do they choose something that they know is not correct, but they're still doing it? And you get more annoyed over time in your project, right? You start to be like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. And this kind of doesn't feel right, but it's my job, so I'll do the thing. And then over time, you notice that you get less annoyed, right? And so that's the thing that makes you more senior. So you start to realize that around you, things happen, but you don't really know what these things are, but you start to realize, hey, they're changing and it annoys me, it upsets me. Why do I have to use Angular and I cannot use Vue? Why are these decisions being made? Why do I have to do unit tests? Or all those little things, even business decisions that you don't get from your customer, you still have to do them. And so what makes you more senior when you know you're in the stage of becoming more senior is you start to notice around you that things are happening that you don't really understand yet, but they upset you. And that is a really good thing. Don't worry about it. That's actually great. The one thing that you have to do is figure out, why am I upset? And based on this why, you can actually start doing a few things, talk to others, and figure out this why, solve it, and suddenly you're more senior. And so the overarching story here is, if you have more overview of what your what other disciplines do, suddenly these things are not that annoying anymore because you have so much overview, you actually understand what these other people do. And because of that, you actually now are like, okay, of course you made that business decision because all these things happen around that person. And then it's less shitty for you that you have to do a certain thing. Of course, you still might not like it, but at least you're not upset as much because you've understood. So, overview, or what I like to say, helicopter view, is really the way to get more senior. The more overview you have of what you do or what others do, the more senior you are, the less annoyed you are, and the more calm you can explain of why certain things shouldn't happen just because, right? You can say just because I'm a developer and I know, or you can understand their situation, go at it in their context and explain, hey, but this is what I know as a developer. This is what you've chosen because of your business decisions or whatever. Why don't we do it that way? And you find a middle ground, and suddenly you're calm. The other person has understood, and you go. Because imagine you're just upset, but you don't know why they chose something. And you're just going to be like annoying to them. They're never going to change, right? And so the whole thing is, have overview. So this works in the macro. Understand why your product owner chose a certain thing, or why your customer chose this CMS you hate. Understand their business implications, right? But it also works in a smaller sense. Imagine you have a bug and it's a really annoying thing somewhere. And of course, as a developer, you will likely have an inkling. It's this thing, so let me just try and fix it. But if you don't have overview over their whole code base, you don't know why the thing is actually broken. You can only make an assumption. And it gets you annoyed again if you don't fix it, right? So what you do is you understand your code base and you start taking layers off until you reach that issue. And that gives you overview of that bug because you remove the things, and you remove the things because you know what they do. And the more you remove, you'll find that this is actually probably a simple bug to fix. And if you cannot find the bug yet, keep peeling layers, or you see it happen, change some things, see, okay, this is really why, and then move the layers back up and you're good to go. So it happens in the macro and it happens in the micro. And so you as a developer or a tech lead or something, You will be annoyed. And don't worry, it's normal in everybody's career. I've had this on multiple occasions. Like right now, I'm at a startup, right? And I've just worked for 2.5 years at the startup, the first one I've ever worked on. And I wasn't annoyed at all. I just had to learn so much. There was so much going on. I just had to do my job. And then at the end of these 2.5 years, I started to notice certain things. I got annoyed, but I didn't know why. And now that I've done this a few times in my career, I realize, okay, I don't have to be upset about the fact that I'm annoyed by something. I just have to learn why. And now I'm at a new startup and I see things happen and I realize, that annoyance is not that bad. It's just I didn't know there are certain universal problems startups have. That's fine. Nothing to be upset about. And now, when I see these things, I can connect the fact that I was upset before and I'm upset again. Okay, so this is a thing. I have to do something with this. And now I try to remain calm and just talk to people, gain overview, have a helicopter view, look down on what are the moving parts and why do they upset me. And so just as a last piece, because I'm just rambling on here, the one thing you should probably, that's a tool that can help you, is just look at, okay, is the thing that annoys me in my mastery, in how good I am at something, or is it in my autonomy? Is it something that I can choose myself or not? Or is it in my purpose? Is the goal that we're trying to reach not clear? And if in one of those three something is not right, figure out what that is, talk to your boss or talk to your colleagues and just say, hey, this purpose thing, something's off. And generally when you talk to your boss and you are this reflective and you say, hey, in the overview part, this annoyed me, this I find out, and it fits in the mastery bucket. Generally, when you're that good at explaining your problem, they love this. And they're like, oh, so you want to get some training? Or so we just talk to these and these people. And you know what? Sometimes they may say, I know, man, I cannot fix this. But they will then provide you with more overview. But I just wanted to give you this rambling insight, something I thought about this afternoon. Anyways, happy coding, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any of these questions, because I've been a manager, a tech lead, and a developer, and a complete newbie in a startup. And so I have this pretty rich history of dealing with these things and helping others deal with it. So please reach out and chat. All right, bye.